Kenny Young there with the pick six. That made the score 17-0, and the Rams went on to win 24-3, a dominant effort over those Patriots. Welcome in, everybody, to the postgame show. I'm Colleen Wolfe with Steve Smith Sr., Joe Thomas, Michael Irvin. We have a lot to unpack here. Wasn't sure it was going to be this lopsided tonight, but it absolutely was. So let's take a look here at the NFC West. The standings, of course, the Rams, they hold on to that top spot, now move to 9-4 on the season, with the Jets coming up next week. Of course, that Week 16 game against the Seahawks is a huge one. And then closing out the season there against the Cardinals. Cynthia Freeland says now that there is a 41% chance that they will win this division with that win tonight. And Cam Akers, Steve, was a huge part of it.
I mean, they gave him the ball early and often, and he ran around that team, through that team, and tried at times to run over that team. He played exceptionally well, and he solidified that starting position. I know it's running back by committee, but it ain't a committee. It's Cam Akers' job now.
Career highs for him in rushing and scrimmage yards tonight. I mean, he was just on fire, carrying this team. That was not the case for the Patriots on the other side of things. Let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture, where the Patriots are pretty much done at this point. They really needed to win tonight at 6-6. Now they move to 6-7 with the loss. They could not get anything going whatsoever on offense. At the end of that game, Cam Newton was pulled. Jarrett Stidham was put in. So at this point, where does this offense, where does this team go from here? It seems like there's so many things that they need to fix this offseason. We spent the pre-show talking about, well, there's a chance they might be heating up. This defense is playing a little bit better. Irv, what do they have to do at this point?
First of all, you and Steve spent the pre-show.
Oh, now the bus is backing up on
Let's
me.
Get this right. Well, no. We're just making sure
Classic
we bring correct information.
There he
and
is,
not
Sir Snitch
fake
himself.
news to the good people. We cannot
Snitch
give
is
the
alive.
good
He's
people
back.
fake news. But Joe and I talked about, can Cam move forward with this team? And we did not see that happening, because we talked about the struggles they have in the passing game. And tonight, it got magnified because they slowed down the run game. They put all the pressure on that offense, and that offense did not show up. And boy, Aaron Donald was all in the backfield, causing all kinds of havoc, doing what I did on the other show with Kurt Warner. Game-changing plays. That's game-changing, those GCPs, game-changing plays, man. And yeah, for this offense, they have to head in a new direction after this season.
Yeah, when you're a power, direct run type quarterback run based offense, there's just not a lot of different plays that you can run. There's only so many ways you can give the quarterback the ball and have him run downhill, and so you become very predictable as an offense, and the Rams just completely took advantage of it. They loaded the box, they stacked the line of scrimmage, especially on early downs, and they forced Cam Newton to try to be in passing situations. Well, they tried to force the issue and run the ball, and they weren't able to run the ball. Once they got into the red zone, they were 0 for 4 because they just don't have a lot of different run plays, and you just get so predictable, especially by this point in the season. Everybody's got a ton of game film on them. All those formations that they line up in, they can try to put window dressing on them, but the defense is probably sitting out there saying that we practiced against all these looks and all these plays that we're getting, and they showed it when they got down there early in the game, and they stuffed them on the goal line on 4th down. And really, it wasn't much of a game because Cam Newton and the New England Patriots had no ability to stretch the field and push the ball downfield throwing the football.
Well, they tried to push the ball down the field at times, but the offensive line could not hold up with that outstanding defensive line with Aaron Donald. But also, too, even when Stidham got in the game, he didn't do a great job. He just played a little bit better hot potato than Cam Newton. But then also, too, there were some passes Cam Newton threw that his wide receivers just couldn't catch. And then also, too, that at the end of it, what Joe said is they tried to window dress some things, but they just could not get it going in the pass game. So just to summarize what all of us have said, let me show you what the New England Patriots are right now. Put a fork in them.
It's a very large fork.
I love the prop. Yeah. Good planning there on your part.
What's frustrating, right? I was like, Steve, you called your wife and said, bring me a fork out the kitchen and let me do that.
That's the turkey fork right there.
Turkey fork, right. That's the big fork.
That's my fork right there.
You saw something. You saw something after that big sack, and Cam dropped back and he hit N'Keal Harry down the sideline. It wasn't something beautiful, but it was what N'Keal Harry has an ability to do. Go up over guys and make a play. And I was like, okay, we should see more opportunities. Just give them those opportunities. Throw the ball up. But it just they don't have the confidence in the passing game. And you talked about it, Steve. I mean, God almighty. For this game, this was about – they felt what happened in the Super Bowl. And the Rams came to show that, okay, we are a different football team. And they showed that tonight in a big way.
Here's one of the problems with the Patriots being a quarterback power running team is that's what you practice, and you are what you practice. So they don't get a lot of opportunities in practice working on their down-the-field passing game. They don't get a lot of opportunities working on timing with this receiver core that's been much maligned. And so they're not going to get any better at it. And so it's really difficult to get put in a situation like the Patriots were tonight where they're really far behind, and all of a sudden now they're going to be this down-the-field passing attack. It just doesn't work like that. So unless they make some big-time changes, I don't really see things being any different for the Patriots, certainly the rest of this season.
I agree with everyone. The one thing that was interesting, too, is when they were around in the fringe in the red zone, they just couldn't get it done. They tried to do some creative things, but at the end of the day, they just, I don't know why, but they just couldn't pass the ball. They never really showed any passing. So the Los Angeles Rams never really felt threatened. They just loaded up the box, played man-to-man coverage, and they kept well, do tell me, please, because I need somebody to stop forking around and tell me, please.
Right.
Yes.
We know why. See, let me tell you why. Because they're trying to run a power run game, and they have no power in the offensive line over the Rams' defensive line. You can't run a power run game and not have the first part of it, which is the power in your offensive line. Aaron Donald dominated that offensive line. The Rams' defense, and sometimes the guys were getting sacked that didn't even get blocked. That was a problem right off the top. I understand you have the running, you have a running quarterback. You're trying to get a running game, but the Rams said on defense, you will not